The episode begins with Rex Splode accompanying Shrinking Ray to buy groceries for the team now that they have gone rogue. Rex tries to convince her to skip cooking and use Robot's credit card, but she insists when they suddenly hear an explosion outside with a villain rampaging in the city. Left with no choice, Rex and Ray go outside to deal with the situation. Back at the hideout, Mark brings back a drone he catches spying outside his house. The others worry that someone knows about his identity and his address. Still, Mark claims that they also learned about his family. Robot informs Mark that the drone is too damaged to determine who built it or who was controlling it. He claims that the design is from Earth and quite sophisticated. Rudy adds that whoever made it has significant resources, which Mark suspects must be Cecil's work. Mark later breaks into the Pentagon, but quickly gets overwhelmed by sentry bots and restrained. Cecil and Donald appear before him and ask why he has attacked the Pentagon. Mark confronts him for spying on them, but Cecil denies it, claiming that if they did, they wouldn't know about it. Realizing he is late for his date with Eve, Mark leaves but declares it's not over. Mark hurries to meet with Eve, but a glowing portal opens beside them when they are about to kiss. Dropkick and Fightmaster emerge from the portal, the same duo who previously stole the Declaration of Independence. When Mark claims they should be in prison, the brothers explain they had a reason to steal the Declaration and that lives are at stake. They then enlist Mark's help to overthrow their king, claiming them to be from the future. Eve argues that they could have just teleported to an earlier time, but they explain that they only have enough juice to make this one last trip. When Mark refuses, they push him toward the portal and bring him into the future. Mark furiously demands they return him, but the brothers convince him to listen to their request. In exchange for his help, they'll return the Declaration of Independence they stole. Seeing the future in ruins, Fightmaster explains that this is the aftermath of centuries of war. Centuries ago, the planet was on the brink of a collapse until one man was made ruler of Earth. He ruled well for a time until something changed, and he slowly went mad. It began with new laws, mandatory work camps, and prisons for dissenters. Things suddenly escalated with senseless wars, mass production of his royal guards, and entire nations punished and forced to survive without power or technology. When he tried to wipe out 10 cities for resisting, the rebellion was formed and stood up against him. They wanted to stop him, but he was too powerful for them. The brothers even went to make a time machine to retrieve the ink from the Declaration of Independence. Rumored it could be made into a poison to kill him, but it still didn't work. When they saw Invincible, they believed that he could be the one to save them. Given their description, Mark suspects it's a Viltrumite, but the brothers are unfamiliar with them. When wondering what they do next, they create a commotion that lures the royal guards to their location. Mark quickly obliterated them. The brothers explain that they planned on getting caught, believing it to be the fastest way to see the king. When a guard scans Mark, they quickly recognize him as Invincible and state that they've been waiting for him. When the brothers were taken elsewhere to be executed, Mark wanted to save them, but they urged him to stop the king instead. Mark carries on with the mission and meets the king, who quickly recognizes him as the Immortal. Immortal is relieved to see him, but when Mark confronts him about hurting people, he claims he left him with no choice. He argues that it was the only way to bring him back. Immortal explains that he's not a Viltrumite and shouldn't have left him in charge to rule the planet. Mark wonders if his problem is because of Kate, but Immortal doesn't remember her claiming to have had hundreds of wives and outlived everyone he ever loved. He demands he pay what he is owed and asks Mark to give him a swift death. When Mark refuses, he claims that he left him in that position and blames him for his mistake that led to countless deaths. Still refusing to kill him, Immortal forces Mark's hand by pulling him into a fight. When that wasn't enough, he even tried to kill the brothers who walked into the room. Left with no choice, Mark decapitates him, pulling his head from his body with superhuman strength. With the king dead, the authority returns to the people, saving the world. The brothers try to comfort him, but Mark still blames himself for what happened. The brothers return him to the past, where Eve awaits. Wanting a change of scenery, Mark and Eve take their date to a new location, but not before they return the Declaration of Independence, which the brothers promised in exchange for his help. After flying worldwide and enjoying the different views, Mark confesses his love to Eve, to which she responds. Meanwhile, light years away, Alan the alien sits in a Viltrumite prison cell. Before his incarceration, Alan fought with Anissa, a ruthless Viltrumite. Instead of defeating her, he lets himself be captured to find Nolan Grayson, aka Omni-Man, and Mark's father. He later saw him still alive, awaiting execution, which would happen after he had fully healed as per the Viltrumite tradition. Using his implanted communication device, Alan told Nolan he enlisted Mark's help in the war between the Coalition of Planets and the Viltrum Empire. He begs Nolan to join their cause but refuses, claiming that his execution is justified for his betrayal of Earth and Viltrum. Alan refuses to give up, but Nolan's answer won't change. When he thought there was no hope, Nolan suddenly had the desire to see his wife. When his captors try to execute him, Alan breaks out of his restraints and destroys the enemy's devices, to which they return him to his cell. Nolan suggests he escape and is worried things will worsen once the Viltrumite executioners arrive. Alan continues to convince him, but Nolan claims that his punishment is befitting of someone who disgraced his kind, betrayed his family, and abandoned his sons. Nolan recovers from his injuries and is escorted to his execution, where 2 Viltrumites await him. Alan breaks free from his cell, risking everything to save a former enemy. Nolan is then chained to the ground as 2 Viltrumites beat him to death while reading him his many crimes against the Empire. Fleeing from a hail of bullets, Alan breaks out the other prisoners, hoping they'll create the distraction he needs to save Nolan. They tried to fight back against their oppressors, but when it wasn't enough, Alan broke free the most dangerous inmate, Battle Beast. Battle Beast wonders if there are worthy opponents to fight, and Alan promises him the Viltrumites, torturing Nolan. The executioners wonder what could have caused Nolan to stray from his mission, having heard of his great exploits in the war. While Nolan gets a thrashing from the executioners, Alan and Battle Beast force their way through fighting their captors even if they're outnumbered. After clearing a path, Alan was surprised to find an empty room. Battle Beast is furious for deceiving him after being promised a fight with Viltrumites. Instead, he turns his attention to him, claiming him to be the only worthy opponent there. Still, Alan notices the ground shaking from the executioners beating up a defenseless Nolan. Just when the executioners are about to finish him off, Alan and Battle Beast fall to where the execution is being held. Battle Beast is thrilled to finally find the chance to test his strength and battle against Viltrumites. When Alan is about to free Nolan, the other executioner attacks him and beats him down, clearly outmatched against a Viltrumite. Seeing him beat down Alan, Nolan stands up and breaks free of his restraints with sheer strength. Too injured to win a fight alone, Nolan works with Alan to beat down the executioner while Battle Beast keeps the other one busy. Just when they thought they had time to catch their breath, their captors caught up to them and started shooting. Cornered by the enemy, Alan suggests flying outside to escape, which sucks the enemy into outer space, frozen to death. The battle continues in outer space, where Nolan and Alan fight one of the executioners while Battle Beast tenaciously stands his own against a Viltrumite. Nolan tries to hold him in place while Alan delivers blows at the executioner. The executioner breaks free and charges at them. Still, Alan and Nolan deliver the finishing blow that shattered his skull with their punch. At the same time, Battle Beast continues his brawl with the other executioner deep in outer space. Nolan asks him why he had to go through all that length to save him, even risk his life. Alan explains that he considers him a friend, and although he fails to convince him to join them, he refuses to see him die. Worried that more Viltrumites might come, Alan suggests they swiftly escape, but Nolan reassures him that no one is coming. Alan looks confused, to which Nolan reveals that there are fewer than 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites left in the universe, and would not risk losing more by capturing fugitives. He claims this is the Empire's most closely guarded secret and why he believes they can beat them. Thank you so much for watching the whole video. Please be sure to check out these other videos and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you soon.